Hi Stampin' friends, it's Chris Slogar from BuckeyeInklings.com. And today I want to show you a card that is a multi-fold card, and I've made it for Christmas with the Brightly Gleaming designer paper and other products from that suite. There's a stamp set called Christmas Gleaming and 2 punches that go with that. So if you get those bundled, the punches and the stamp set, you save 10%. But I've made this as a Christmas card, and it's great because you see both sides of the designer paper and they're already all decorated. You could make it in any theme though. I got the idea from a card. This is a case of Brenda's card at stampingasfastasycan.com. Loved this idea. I also made it with Christmas Gleaming, but I used a greeting from Everything Festive. And it has a belly band, and it's the exact same fold, but made on cardstock. Okay, and it's 12-inch by 5.5-inch cardstock, and as you'll see, the designer paper is the same. And I actually think the designer paper version is easier because we have that 12-inch designer paper available, and both sides of the paper are decorated right from the start. So we don't have to cut and place all of these individual pieces. But you may like one or the other look better, and the base is made exactly the same way, and I'll have pictures of both on my website. Okay, so let's get started. We're going to make the Night of Navy one, and you need to take, as I said, your designer paper is 5.5 by 12, and I place it so that whatever pattern is going to be on the inside is up on my board, because you need to think about, if you have a directional print, which we don't in this case, that first fold comes over like this, and that's our first score line at 1 3/4. Okay, so you would need to make sure that the direction of the print is going the right way if you had something directional. Okay, so you would have the top of your pattern to the top of the scoring board. And then you're going to score at 1 3/4, 4 3/4, and 7 3/4. All right, and then burnish each of those. You're zigzagging the sections back and forth on top of each other. Okay, and then for the inside, I have a piece of Night of Navy that measures 4 by 5 1/4, and I'm going to stamp the inside greeting on a piece of Very Vanilla that measures 3 7/8 by 5 1/8. Okay, so it's just a little smaller than our Night of Navy. Okay, so I've got that greeting there. I'm going to adhere it to the Night of Navy and to that inside panel of the card. Okay, it's hard to see where the fold is with the stripes. Okay, that looks good. And then for the outside piece, I've got a piece of Very Vanilla that measures 3 by 4 1/4, and I want to get that greeting. I know I'm a little tight for space. I've got this Deck the Halls with Boughs of Holly. I'm going to use my Stamp-A-Majig so that I can get it in the bottom left corner of that 3 by 4 1/4 piece of Very Vanilla. Okay, so I do want to either Stamparatus or Stamp-A-Majig to get this just where I want it. Okay, great. So it's out of the way, and we have room for a lot of ornaments. Now, I'm going to start building this up. So I have Night of Navy that's just a little bit bigger at 3 1/8 by 4 3/8. And I'm attaching it to the front of the card and centering it within the whole width. Okay, so the adhesive only goes down the side that will overlap with this panel. And then we're going to center that as best you can with all of those stripes. Okay, and then what I did in this case, I have a die cut piece. This is from the Christmas Layers dies. That's bundled with Itty Bitty Christmas, if you're interested in that. And all I did is I tacked down on these big branches, or the big leaves. Let me get a better glue. Just in a couple of places, I'm tacking down the upper section. Okay, and then I'm going to place my ornaments. So I punched ornaments from that same designer paper, and then let me show you to make the little ornament tops. I just punched along a piece of copper foil and nipped out the top of those ornaments and to put those pieces together to make my ornaments. So I did that ahead of time so I wouldn't be fussing with that on the video. But this layout of the front panel I saw on a card by Rachel Woolard. I really loved it, so I'm casing that for the front of my card. All right, so I'm just going to tack down the ornaments where I want them, and this one be kind of here. I've got the light colored one up on dimensionals. And just down a bit here. And then the Night of Navy, I'm just tacking down here above the greeting. Okay, so also in Rachel's design, I loved how she just cut these tiny little strips of copper, since we don't have like a copper twine or fiber to use easily here. And all I'm going to do is I'm going to make a little pool of glue on a scrap here. This is a scrap ornament. Oops, wrong glue. And I'm going to kind of dip the end of this in the glue and tuck it under the ornament top. Remember, I just barely put a little adhesive in the middle of the ornaments. And I just want to give the illusion of strings. This one will kind of end under the bow, so that's no big deal. Now the next one, since I haven't tacked too much of the greenery down, I can slide it like right under this big leaf. And I can put my adhesive right there under that leaf. Okay, and that'll help hide the ornament string, but we'll have a little, oops, that twisted. We'll have a little coverage there from the greenery on the glue. Okay, and then the last one, same thing. I'm dipping in the glue and then just tucking under wherever I can on the greenery. Let's try to tuck that under here. I can go under there too. Okay, and that way we've got a little more forgiveness from this greenery to hide our glue. Okay, so I can tuck that greenery down over here, and that will hold our string in place as well. Okay, let me just put a little weight on that. while I tie my bow. Now this is gorgeous Merry Christmas ribbon. It's classic weave ribbon, very vanilla and copper. So you do kind of have to think about this to get this tied so that the Merry Christmas reads the way you like it. And I find I need to work with this end. So I'm cutting the ribbon 12 inches long, and I'm starting by creating this left loop, and then I'm bringing the ribbon, the printed side up around my thumb and pushing. I'm going to only twist it under here so that I can push through the printed part on top. Takes a little practice, but once you get it down and when you really think about it, you can make a really nice bow with that greeting showing just so beautifully. Okay. And I'm just going to put that down with a couple of glue dots here. And I'll be able to hide that one strand. And the others are kind of okay, you know, tucked in and around the greenery. So we'll just leave them as so. And there we have our multi-fold card opening, like so. Now, one thing that we were discussing, because we made this earlier this month, is you can add adhesive here and stick this last section down to the next section, and then the card opens like so. So kind of up to you if you want it to accordion out the whole way, or if you want that part to be stuck together and have it open like so. Okay, so that's it for this project. Visit me at buckeyeinklings.com for more projects and online shopping. Thanks, bye.